Hi, BookTube. So today I will be doing or this evening rather, I will be doing my review of Red Inferno 1945 by Robert Conroy, published in 2010. This is an alternate history novel about what if the Allies went to war with each other immediately after defeating Nazi Germany in the year 1945. What if the Soviets went to war with Britain, France, and the United States? What if they went to war with each other immediately after defeating Adolf Hitler? Now, I'm a huge fan of that video game Command and Conquer Red Alert. So I was very happy to read this book because this is a more realistic scenario of taking on Joseph Stalin directly with war, because it doesn't involve time travel. So the point of divergence is in April 1945. What if the Allies, instead of stopping at the Elbe River, marched on to take Berlin, and then Joseph Stalin, fearing that he's going to be denied his victory, he's going to be denied territorial gains, attacks, and then there is a World War III immediately following World War II. Or alternatively, World War II continues. World War II is still there, but it's much more devastating, much more destructive. More lives are lost, as opposed to in our timeline. Because, spoiler alert, the war ends in August or September of 1945, more or less at the same time as it does in our timeline. It's just that the fighting in Europe never stops, even as they're fighting Japan in the east. So it never stops, because now, as opposed to the Germans, they're fighting the Soviet Union. So, and then the Rump government of Germany, the former Nazis, they ally with the West. In fact, it is actually a historical fact that there was tension between the Soviet Union and the rest of the Allies at the time. What would happen when the two sides actually met in the middle in Germany? There was a lot of tension. Winston Churchill, from what I've been told, from what I heard, actually had a plan on going to war with Joseph Stalin, with the communists. And it was also a well-established fact, because there was tension between the two sides, there was also a well-established fact that the Nazis would have rather surrendered to the Western Allies as opposed to their ideological enemies, the communists. So, yeah, that's basically it. The story has multiple points of perspectives of various soldiers in different battlefields, as well as political leaders in Moscow and Washington, D.C., respectively, and London and so on. And so it has multiple perspectives. There are no memorable characters in this. They're just eyes in which we can see this alternate reality unfolding. So, but fortunately, there was some love stories there, some tragic stories. We really got into the personal lives of the various characters in this book. Not all of them, but some of them. And they add, and some of there's one love story of an enclave of a city that is conquered by the Allies but is surrounded by the Soviets, called Potsdam. And there's this love story that unfolds between an American soldier and a German woman there. That story was sweet but not memorable. But those personal touches were very, very important, because otherwise this would be a super dry text and I would not have appreciated it. I also recently read, and this is similar because this book has similar descriptions of tactics and strategies on the battlefield, similar to that other book, Invasion by Eric L. Harry, which is also an invasion story, a war story. So this is alternate history invasion literature, war literature. I was fascinated by this because, like I said, I was a fan of that Command and Conquer game. I rate this book a 7 out of 10. I'm glad. I'm reading a lot of these books. I'm glad I read it, but it's not worth reading again. It's just to sate my curiosity. Yeah. And I'm just worried that I missed anything here. I don't think I did. No. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening in. Goodbye. I did miss something. Spoiler alert. The book ends with the detonation of not 2, but 3 atomic bombs. Which is how the war ends. 2 in Europe against the Soviets and 1 in Japan against the Japanese. And at this time, the Soviet Union had not yet developed the bomb. I believe it was a few years after the end of World War II. So this story ends with only one superpower with the atomic bomb. That could change in the coming years, but the alternate timeline doesn't go that far in this book. Okay, that was the little bit of information I missed. Thank you again for listening in. Goodbye.